Namaste. This is the 27th teaching class, and we're going to discuss raising the Kundalini. Earth is a spiritual training school, and only souls who have earned the privilege to attend this Earth training school are here out of their dedication and love and respect to serve God. I am Tim Doyle. I'm a student of the Golden Ones. The Golden Ones are co-creator gods who are our administrators of this Earth spiritual training school. All souls are connected to the heart and mind of God in every moment. All life experiences for the soul in every moment are based on learning what the soul needs to learn, wisdom, repaying back karma debts, learning to take responsibility for their thoughts, words, and deeds. What we want to discuss is the Kundalini. We say the Kundalini. Most people aren't aware of what the Kundalini is. The Kundalini is an energy force in the base of the spine, below the root chakra. And what it does, it will support the soul when the soul has learned to dedicate their entire being to serve God in every moment. Now, there are teachings that will tell you that you have to abstain from sex, you have to do all these rituals and so forth to raise the Kundalini, which is not true. I raised the Kundalini when I first started to meditate back in 1971. And I didn't even know what the Kundalini was. I didn't know what a chakra was. I didn't know anything about the spiritual aspects of meditation, except that it was a place to go to learn to be in the silent. So when I raised the Kundalini, it wasn't until afterwards that I had the experience that I investigate to find out what it was that I actually did. So Kundalini is raised during meditation. And what we want to discuss we want to discuss how to prepare for your meditation. If this is a spiritual meditation, you want your meditation to be a ritual. You want it to be something that is a spiritual ritual that you intend on being one with the God within you, one with God, one with creation, one with life. So this is a spiritual ritual when you go into a meditation. So when I approached it, I did everything that I believed at the time that I was guided to do. I found that best thing to do was to determine the time to meditate, whether I was going to meditate once a day, twice a day. I settled on meditating on once a day at the exact time every day. I picked a place where I was facing east. Facing east is the beginning of each day when the sun rises. That's the start of a new beginning. I lit a white candle. The candle I lit was white to symbolize the purity of my intention. I picked a comfortable chair to sit in where I was not distracted by anything outside of myself. Rested my hands in my lap with the thumb and the ring finger touching together. Why? I was just guided to do this. My breathing, I did the yoga breath, where you inhale through the nose into the diaphragm and out through the nose, keeping the mouth closed. With this, by breathing like this, what it does, it relaxes the body and it also oxygenates the brain. It brings oxygen to the brain. I had no intention of raising the Kundalini because I didn't even know what the Kundalini was. My teachers just told me just to sit there and observe what was going in through my mind. Now, I did start each meditation with a prayer of protection. The prayer of protection is, I surround myself in a circle of light, in an armor of love, in which nothing can remain and through which nothing can penetrate, unlike divine love itself. I ask my loved ones to remove all energies and entities, unlike divine love, Take them to thy Father for light and liberation. The Mother, Father God, frees the soul, frees these energies and entities, and I accept no reversal, individually or collectively, for the treatment of these energies and entities. The reason I say the prayer protection before meditation is because anything that would happen to me during the meditation, I knew it was divine guided. So there was no question in my mind if I felt or heard anything or something activated my body or anything like that, that it was anything other than divine love happening to me, and it was a teaching experience. So my mind was clear that I was in a sacred place, I was being divine guided, and I was going through a spiritual ritual where it was me, and my intention was to be the best servant to God. It was my intention. I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy. I did attend the seminary to dedicate my life to become a priest at one point, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that. That only lasted 1 year. So my whole life was spiritually guided, I felt. I've always had a communication with God during the day. If I had a problem, let's say, hey, what's going on, and so forth. So I had an open communication with my teachers or whoever in my spiritual realm that I referred to. And I sort of did this throughout my whole life. And I used it. I paid attention to my thoughts. And I used the guidance I received as an indication that I was being guided. After saying the prayer of protection, I would sit there and I would let my mind open up to any thoughts that would come in. And this was part of the process to clear, I don't know what it's called. There's a place in your body that you have these thoughts that are just resonating within your body at all times. So when I was sitting there and it began to resonate, I started to see some very, in my mind's eye, my eyes are closed, I'm sitting there, I'm facing east, I'm in a comfortable chair, facing east, the candle's lit, my hands are in position, rested calmly on my lap. I was breathing very slowly and softly into my diaphragm and out my nose. And I was just allowing thoughts to come into my mind's eye and go through them. And thoughts would come in one by one. And if I didn't like the thought, I would acknowledge the thought and then go on. And if it was a thought that I didn't like, let's say some obscene thought, I would just ask my teachers to remove the thought and go to the next thought. And I was clearing out, I think they call it the subtle body, just daily thoughts that run through your mind that have no place in a sacred environment. So I was clearing these thoughts out one by one. And then when I felt pretty comfortable that all those negative thoughts or subtle thoughts were gone, and I wasn't thinking about, what am I going to wear to work tomorrow, or when I'm going to have breakfast, or am I going to go shopping, or when's payday, or anything like that, where I focused in and disciplined my thinking on, maybe to begin with, it was the sunrise, to focus my attention on a sunrise so that I could then pay attention to a disciplined action in my mind, to train my mind to be disciplined. Now, I continued the meditation, and my intention during the meditation, I remember this distinctly, is that I told God, I felt like I was in a spiritual ritual, and I was telling God, I want to be the best servant to you. I want to be better than any other servant. Now, at the time, I didn't know that Earth was a spiritual training school. Didn't know that. I didn't know that souls are here to learn to become co-creator gods. So I couldn't say that my intention was to be the best co-creator God ever, because I didn't know Earth was a spiritual training school. I just wanted to be used as the best servant for God. That was my intention. And I believe by having that attention, that's what caused the Kundalini to rise within me, because it supported my divine intention. And it was a divine intention. It was an intention to serve God my whole life. My intention wasn't to make money, to be successful, to have a family, anything like that. It was just to be however God wanted to use me as a servant. I wanted to be the best servant to God. I believe by having that spiritual intention, that's what caused the Kundalini. That's what activated the Kundalini to rise within me. So let's move on. During my meditations, what happened during my meditations, once I got to a point in my meditations where I would start my meditation daily at the same time. I remember it was 7 o'clock at night. I was facing east. At the time, I was living on the Chesapeake Bay, and my house was sitting on the water, on the edge of the water. And it was, I believe it was March, where it got dark pretty early, so it wasn't like there was daylight or anything like that. I would start it, continue the practice every day, and then all of a sudden, and maybe after about a week, I start to see colors in my meditation. In my mind's eye, I would see colors. Now, this is the beginning of the Kundalini rising, is when you see colors. They were beautiful colors. They were blues and greens and purples, those three main colors. And there was an indication that the Kundalini was rising and activating the root chakra, because your root chakra is basically your aura. That's where it starts from. Your aura is based on the energy in the root chakra. So that was the first beginning of experiences in my body. Now, at the time, I didn't know that it was the Kundalini activating the colors within me. All right, I was just thinking, oh, my meditation is developing where I'm seeing colors. I'd see colors, and I would also see some numbers sometime. The number 6 appeared in my mind's eye quite frequently, in and out with the colors. So the colors lasted for, let's say maybe about a week or so. And then my meditations took another turn where I start feeling sensual feelings in my body. Well, your sensual feelings is your second chakra. So again, I knew nothing about chakras. I knew nothing about Kundalini. I knew nothing about spiritual body and levels and so forth. I'm feeling sensual feelings in my body, and I'm saying the prayer of protection, so I know that this has to be guided, a divine guidance. And I'm thinking, I'm feeling these sensual feelings, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not thinking anything sexual, so why am I feeling these sensual feelings in my second chakra? Well, I didn't say it's second chakra. I meant in my genitals. So that lasted maybe about a week. Then about a week later in my meditation, I start feeling a pulsation, and the pulsation felt like it was in my heart. I felt a pulsation in my heart, which I thought was my heart, but it wasn't my heart. It was below my heart. It was I'll refer now, it was my solar plex area, or my third body, or my light body. It was the third chakra. There was a pulsation there. And it was like a strong pulsation, like a beating in that third chakra, like a heartbeat, but stronger than a heartbeat. Again, saying the prayer of protection, I knew I was protected, and I just sat there and observed what was going on. Now that continued for maybe about 3 weeks, 2 weeks. And then I'm sitting in meditation, and the pulsation is going on in my third chakra. And I start in my left palm, there's an energy start coming into the left palm of my left hand palm, and moving up my arm. So I thought, well, this is different. And so the pulsation is taking place in my third chakra. there's an energy moving up my arm, my left arm, and it's moving along, coming up, getting close to my shoulder, and I start to hear like a freight train in my ear, a roar in my right ear, like a freight train or a tornado. I thought this was unusual. And then the energy is continuously moving up my arm and almost gets to the cavity of my body. And the pulsation is continuing in my solar plex area. And then I start taking on a rhythmic breathing, like. Now, this was an uncontrolled breathing. I'm just sitting now observing everything what's going on. Now, I know I'm protected because I said prayer protection. So this pulsation is going on in my solar plexus. I take on this rhythmic breathing, deep breathing. There's a tornado sound or a hurricane sound or a train roaring in my right ear. And then the energy in my arm hits the cavity of my body. And when it hit the cavity of my body, there was a tremendous, brilliant light that came into my mind's eye. If anybody knows what white phosphorus is the most brilliant white light you could see on Earth. This light was, my eyes are closed, and this white light is just brilliantly in the center of my mind's eye, brilliantly bright. And it's so bright, my eyes are closed, but I'm squinting to get away from this bright light. I closed my eyes as tightly as I could. Of course, I can't get away from the white light. And that lasted, I cannot tell you how long it lasted, but it lasted maybe a minute, 2 minutes, I don't know. Brilliant light. Then all of a sudden, I start feeling myself spiraling out of my body. And I was afraid to open up my eyes, but I knew I was out of my body, and I knew I was over the Chesapeake Bay. And I didn't want to open up my eyes, and I didn't know where I was going. I wasn't that experienced in meditating and in spiritual development or anything like that. So I just put out the thought to my loved ones. I said, please return me back to my body. When I finished the thought and asked to return back to my body, I felt myself de-spiraling back down into my body. When I finished the meditation, I thought, wow, not knowing what had happened. I felt that maybe it was like a ceremony where my intention was received, and I was being indoctrinated into maybe a spiritual club or something like that in the heavens. I don't know. I don't know what I thought about. I just realized that I was very pleased at the experience of going through it, not knowing what it was. And it wasn't until later when I learned about the chakras, the 7 chakras, what takes place in the chakras, what happened in my mind's eye, your crown chakra, that I realized that what I did is I raised the Kundalini. Now, I had no intentions of raising the Kundalini because I didn't know what the Kundalini was. I know that many people, when they set out to meditate to attempt to raise the Kundalini. Well, that can't be your intention. Your intention can't be to raise the Kundalini. Your intention has to be to serve God with your whole heart, soul, whole mind, whole soul, whole body, to be a perfect servant for God. When you have that intention, then the Kundalini will support you and open up your faculties to be a servant for God. All right? It's that simple. That's what my teachers explained to me. Now, during your meditations, you will be tested. You'll be tested on purpose, which you intend, by thoughts, desires. I think that's all I wanted to say about raising the Kundalini and what the Kundalini is. Earth is a spiritual training school. We are here to learn to become co-creator gods. Everyone on Earth is in this classroom to serve God. Now, when you come here, before you come here, that you have a pure intention to serve God. That's why we come to earth. When we get to earth, we forget everything we have learned previously. Previously, we were guided by the heart of God, out of love, and that was our intuitiveness. Like the other kingdoms are guided now, the flower kingdoms, the animal kingdoms, and so forth. They're guided when to fly south, when to hibernate, where to go to get honey, how to pollinate, and so forth. They're guided by the heart of God. When we come to earth, we get the mind. We get the consciousness, the conscious mind, subconscious mind, where those aspects of the God within us are activated. So we're learning how to manifest when we come to earth. And not knowing how to manifest, we may start manifesting initially from the ego. We're not aware of universal laws and karma. And so the new souls, we can look on earth now and see who the new souls are. Those are the corrupt politicians and government officials and corporate individuals who operate out of greed and abusiveness to others and so forth. So we have to be mindful that these souls that are in this training school that are acting this way have not learned the value of what we have learned. So we need to have compassion for them. And that's part of our trainings, have compassion for the people that are in charge, who are currently in charge of the planet. Things are changing. We're in the fifth dimension now. So little by little, the people operating out of the third dimension will be removed and transition and come back as a new incarnated soul under proper parental guidance. So we just have to have compassion for them. Now, there's no reason why those of us who are spiritually aware need to die. We don't need to go through the birth, death, rebirth cycle. Take care of our body, physical body, by being in an alkaline state. Disease can only survive in an acidic environment within the body. So keep your alkalinity up, and you can measure that with pH strips. Clean your light body with the prayer to remove emotional parasites, and keep negative energies off your light body and out of your surroundings with the prayer protection. You don't only use that in meditation before you meditate, but use it in your work and use it in your home to keep your home free from negative energies and trapped souls. And the fourth thing I would highly recommend is to use the Ascension Master Program and learn how to attune to the frequency in your consciousness I call it the God frequency, where you hear and listen and you speak to God in every moment. Let me terminate video. Let me terminate it. Namaste. Be compassionate to your fellow classmates. Much love and many blessings to all. Namaste. See all the teachings and videos of the Golden Ones at www.thepathtooneNess.com. Also, see the teachings on the Golden Age, where souls can learn how to overcome the birth, death, and rebirth cycle. Also, see all the videos of the Golden Ones on the YouTube channel, Timothy Doyle, The Golden Ones. And visit us on Facebook and link it at The Path to Oneness.